Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it, especially if you love the movies?
Tango Shalom is now available on all VOD
major platforms. I think we messed that up.
Video on demand, or as they say in the trade, VOD.
VOD. Tango Shalom is now available on all VOD platforms,
which means
video on demand.
Look how you know. You must be a high school graduate.
I'm a college graduate.
Really?
Yes.
I got an honorary degree from Hofstra. Did you get an honorary degree?
No, I got a degree.
Oh, well, I got honorary. You know, I'm in the Jewish Museum.
What for?
What do you mean? As a famous Jew in the Bronx. I'm in the famous...
I'm in the Prospect Park in the Stones.
How big is the stone?
Observations with Robert Meyer Burnett.
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, your whatever. You guys hang all those names on me. I can't even keep track of them. This is the Hollywood Half and Half. Of course, if you are on the half pipe, on the half shell, or still half the bag from last night, this is your 30-minute blast of entertainment news brought to you by, well, the Burnettwork, me, Robert Meyer Burnett, and, of course, a damn fine cup of coffee with half and half in it. Half on the hour, half in the bag, half in the glass. However you want to say it. Actually, this coffee this morning has quite a bit of a kick. It is December 1st. That's right, Wednesday, December 1st. Surprise day, December 1st. Are you all done with your Christmas shopping? You shouldn't be, because you got 25 days. 24, really. So it's very exciting. We got a very exciting show for you. Very, very bunch of crazy stories. The first of which is this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentle beings, kind souls across the 28 known galaxies, White Men Can't Jump is getting remade at 20th Century, and Calmatic is directing. This is Calmatic. Calmatic, who most recently wrapped production directing the House Party reboot for New Line. My friend Darren Scott, who was a producer on Menace to Society, which is out on 4K Criterion Disc, also did a House Party reboot. But this time it's Calmatic who's doing it. This is a House Party reboot for New Line. He's tapped to direct the remake of White Men Can't Jump. He's not doing House Party for New Line. He's doing White Men Can't Jump. Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, Ron Shelton, one of the great sports movies ever made, is being remade. Kenya Barris and Doug Hall co-wrote the script, with Barris also producing. This is pretty. I love White Men Can't Jump. I love the film. I saw it in the theater. Loved it. I saw it opening day. White Men Can't Jump, the classic 1992 sports comedy that helped launch Woody Harrelson's movie career as Cheers was winding down, and made Wesley Snipes an even bigger star than he already was. Come on, man. How many of you haven't seen New Jack City? I still want to be a New Jack Hustler. And Nino Brown, one of the great villains of all time. But then he followed it up with this. Follows two street basketball hustlers who would first try to hustle each other, then team up for a bigger score. How this storyline will be updated is unknown, but it is expected to follow the same idea as the original. Calmatic cut his teeth as a rising star in the music video world, working with artists including Pharrell, Khalid. His work on Lil Nas X Old Town Road would put him on the radar of studio execs, and production companies across town, including LeBron James and Maverick Carter's Spring Hill Entertainment, who would eventually tap him to direct their remake of House Party. That's pretty exciting. I mean, another Hollywood remake, but it could be good. I mean, after all, I'd see it. Who doesn't like White Man Can't Jump? Next up, Alec Baldwin in the news yet again. He's going to give his first official interview after the shooting on the set of Rust with George Stephanopoulos on ABC. It's a very tragic event. Alec Baldwin has given his first in-studio interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos. The actor sat down on Tuesday with Stephanopoulos, who described the 1 hour and 20-minute discussion as raw and intense. I've done thousands of interviews in the last 20 years at ABC, Stephanopoulos said during this morning's Good Morning America. This was the most intense I've ever experienced. So raw, as you can imagine, he is devastated, but he was also very candid. He was very forthcoming. He answered every question. He talked about Helena Hutchins, talked about meeting with her family as well. He went through in detail what happened on the set that day, and I have to tell you, I was surprised in many places over the course of that hour and 20 minutes we sat down. The interview will air tomorrow evening. I believe that would that be today? Tomorrow evening? No, it is tomorrow. It's tomorrow evening, so it's Thursday. It is tomorrow evening on ABC and Hulu. This will be the first time Baldwin has spoken out about the incident on camera, barring a brief interview he gave to TMZ in a bid to stop the paparazzi from following him and his family in the aftermath of the tragedy. Hutchins, of course, was shot dead as Baldwin rehearsed with what he believed to be an empty gun on the set of Western Rust in New Mexico. I also heard yesterday, or I read an article about the father of the armorer on the show talking about where the live ammunition might have come from. So that investigation is ongoing. But this is, of course, a tragic event all the way around. Obviously, I'm a fan of Alec Baldwin's. It will be interesting to hear him speak about this tragedy because it's no good for anybody. And it was incredibly, incredibly tragic. The next story, Chris Cuomo suspended by CNN. CNN has suspended Chris Cuomo indefinitely, pending further evaluation following new disclosures about how he helped his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, in the midst of a scandal over sexual harassment allegations, a move that leaves the Warner Media Network without the services of its most watched anchor. The New York Attorney General's office released transcripts and exhibits Monday that shed new light on Chris Cuomo's involvement in his brother's defense. The documents, which were not privy to before their public release, raised serious questions. When Chris admitted to Variety that he had offered advice to his brother's staff, he broke our rules, and we acknowledged, broke our knowledge. This is from Variety. He broke our rules and acknowledged that publicly. This is CNN talking. But we also appreciated the unique position he was in and understood his need to put his family first and job second. CNN said in a statement Tuesday evening, however, these documents point to a greater level of involvement in his brother's efforts than we previously knew. As a result, we have suspended Chris indefinitely, pending further evaluation. This doesn't seem that unexpected to me. I mean, if your brother's in trouble, you can always help family. I mean, obviously the situation is not a good one, but we'll see what happens. This next story, come on. How do you not love this next story? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my God, Nicolas Cage. I mean, are we in the midst of a Nicolas Cage-assance? Things with like Pig. I guess it started with The Color Out of Space. I love that. Richard Stanley's Color Out of Space. It seems like Nicolas Cage is everywhere. And, after Kiss the Vampire, how could you not like the idea of Nicolas Cage playing Dracula? Well, it looks like he's going to. It's going to be Nicholas versus Nicholas, as Nicholas Hoult stars in Dracula's titular henchman. This comes from Boris Kitt and The Hollywood Reporter from yesterday. Nicolas Cage has made a career of biting into his roles with seemingly reckless abandon, even as he strayed further and further from studio filmmaking and sunk his teeth into indie cinema. Now, in a deal sealed with a vampire's kiss. I didn't write this, Boris Kit did. Cage is returning to a big studio movie and will play the meaty role of Dracula in Universal Pictures' monster movie, Renfield. Nicholas Hoult is starring as the titular character, the vampire count's infamous acolyte and henchman, in the feature directed by Chris McKay, the helmer behind Amazon's The Tomorrow War, and the Lego Batman movie. McKay and Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead fame, of course, and Invincible fame as well, if you like those comic books and shows, are producing along with David Alpert, Brian First, and Sean First. McKay's producing partner, Samantha Niesboim, is exec producing. The character of Renfield originated in Bram Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula as a patient in an asylum obsessed with drinking blood, deluded into thinking he will find immortality. I don't know. I mean, that could happen. It could happen. Especially if you're drinking adrenochrome, am I right? He bows at the feet of Dracula, who, in the very definition of toxic work environments and codependent relationships, feed him insects and rats and dangles everlasting life in front of him. That's what my plastic surgeon friend does every single day. It's unclear how Renfield takes on the dynamic as plot details are being kept in a coffin, but the project is described as a modern-day adventure story that is comedic in tone. How could it not be? I mean, Chris McKay, director of the Lego movie, making a movie called Renfield, how could it not be comedic? I mean, come on. Even when they're making a movie like Kick-Ass and Nicolas Cage played Big Daddy, you got to love Nicolas. Who doesn't love Nicolas Cage? But, you know, when he is directed by a talented director who you know, he's not unrestrained, you can still get great performances out of him. He's one of our great actors. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be good. I mean, come on. I just can't tell you how it delights me to think of Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. Ryan Ridley, known for Fox's Ghosted and Adult Swim's Rick and Morty, penned the script based on an original story outline from Robert Kirkman. Cage obviously established himself as an acting talent with 1980s classics such as Moonstruck and Raising Arizona before winning an Oscar for 1995's Leaving Las Vegas, a movie that you can't not want to drink when you come out of. And becoming one of the biggest movie stars in the world, he went on to lead a long string of blockbusters such as The Rock, Con Air, Face Off, and National Treasure. He scored a second Oscar nomination for his performance in 2002's adaptation. His last major studio movie was 2011's Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, and since then he's starred in numerous indies. I heard like 487 indies, many indulgently quirky and some downright esoteric. But seeds of a comeback and a renaissance were planted when Lionsgate bought and then made The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, in which Nicolas Cage plays an actor named Nick Cage, who is trying to navigate the paths of indie and studio movie making while also acting as a CIA informant ensconced in a drug lord's jungle compound. Buzz about the movie, which is in the test screening phase ahead of an April 2022 release, has been swirling around in executive circles for months, with many calling it a big swing for the actor and the studio. Come on, man. Nicolas Cage, I think he's going to knock this one out of the park. Who doesn't want to see it? Now, this next story, I just want to say, people are like, Rob, we'd really prefer it if you just stick to information and news about television and movies. But I like all kinds of entertainment, including music. And that said, guess what? Trevor Noah has been tapped. That's right, to host the 2022 Grammy Awards. Trevor Noah will return as Master of Ceremonies of the 64th Annual Grammy Awards. CBS and the Recording Academy announced today. This comes to us from Deadline, reported by Greg Evans. The live broadcast from the Crypto.com arena. Now, for those of you, I reported on this last week. That's right. LA's Staples Center is being renamed to Crypto.com. Did you ever kind of notice those? Have you seen those commercials? Fortune favors bold, the Matt Damon ones that end over the surface of Mars. I mean, I'd never heard of Crypto.com like 2 months ago. I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around NFTs, but they now have a stadium. So they've renamed Staples Center to Crypto.com. I don't know if it kind of flows off the tongue. But anyway, the live broadcast from the Crypto.com Arena, currently still known as the Staples Center in Los Angeles, is set for Monday, January 31st, 2022. Trevor brought his trademark talent and versatility to last March's Grammys, and we can't wait for him to host the event on CBS and Paramount Plus again this year, said George Cheeks, president and CEO of CBS and chief content officer, News Sports Paramount Plus. The Grammys will air on January 21st from 8 to 11:30 p.m. live and Eastern Time, 5 o'clock to 8:30, obviously, on Paramount Plus. You can stream it live and on demand. Trevor was amazing as our host for the 63rd Grammy Awards, with praise from the music community, music fans, and critics, said Harvey Mason Jr., CEO of the Recording Academy. We're so excited to welcome Trevor back to the Academy stage and Grammy stage, and feel fortunate to once again have him hosting what we believe will be an unforgettable evening. Last week, the Grammy nominees were revealed, and it was announced that for the first time there are 10 nominees in each of the general field categories, and they added people. They announced the nominees, and then they added people. There's Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best New Artists. This year's top nominees include Jon Batiste, Justin Bieber, Doja Cat, Her, Billie Eilish, and Olivia Rodrigo. The 64th Annual Grammy Awards are produced by Fullwell 73 Productions for the Recording Academy. Hey, you gotta love the Grammy Awards, right? Don't you? And why not? Because pop music means so much to all of us these days, doesn't it? We're all listening to the same things. It's incredible how much music has come to mean in modern civilization. This is an interesting story. A very interesting story. Pierre Morel, who has directed many an action film that you love, his film Al Kamin smashes the United Arab Emirates box office records. Andreas Wiseman reports on this today. This also comes to us from Deadline. The Pierre Morel directed action movie, and I have to say, I've not even heard of this movie, El Kamin, The Ambush, has just become the highest grossing Emirati or Arabic language film ever in the United Arab Emirates after posting a mammoth opening weekend relative to the market. Now, as many of you know, I'm a huge fan of world cinema. My own film that I produced and edited, Tango Shalom, played at the Rabat, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first comedy film festival in the Islamic world in Rabat, Morocco, and we won the Audience Award. So I'm very interested in the emerging Arab filmmaking world. I'm looking forward to getting a lot of stories we have yet to hear, new emerging filmmaking voices from that area of the world, and this is kind of exciting. The big budget movie, which is a co-production between AGC International and Image Nation Abu Dhabi, scored 101,000 cinema admissions before November 25th and November 29th, making it the fifth largest opening this year in the UAE, behind only Fast 9, Venom 2, No Time to Die, and Godzilla vs. Kong. It has logged another 22,000 admissions since then. Vox Distribution is releasing the movie, which stars an all-Emirati lead cast and was filmed in the UAE. One of the largest ever Arabic language features shot in the GCC, the movie had its world premiere at Vox Cinemas Yas Mall. Do they say Yas Queen when you go to the Yas Mall? I don't know. Which was attended by director Morel, who obviously, remember, Pierre Morel directed Taken, so he has a particular set of skills. Producers Derek Doshi, who made Roman Israel Esquire, and Jennifer Roth, who produced Black Swan, and the cast alongside real Emirati soldiers whose story the film is based on. Inspired by an incident that took place during the conflict with Yemen, the patriotic film is about the rescue mission of a small group of Emirati soldiers trapped in a mountainous valley. Pick is currently on release on 185 screens in the Emirates, and it has a strong marketing push thanks to its themes and backers. You can find the teaser trailer. It's online. The Pick was written by Brandon Bertel, who wrote Furious 7, and Curtis Bertel, Medal of Honor. Image Nation Abu Dhabi's production included a team of Emirati filmmakers and development executives, including Hana Kazim, Talal El Asmani, and Aliyah El Kremzi. And there's lots of names I don't want to say because I will butcher them all. But a lot of people from Emirates, and I would suggest you look them up on the IMDb, because if I read them, I'm just going to offend the entire cast. But, I mean, it sounds great to me. Vox Distribution is immensely proud of the record-breaking success that Al Qamin is enjoying in the UAE, which reiterates the growing popularity of homegrown productions and also demonstrates that audiences want the immersive and unrivaled entertainment experience that cinema provides. That's what I like to hear, even coming out of the UAE. Let's read that again. The immersive and unrivaled entertainment experience that cinema provides. Movies provide entertainment to everybody, no matter where they are. Come on, we need them. The theatrical experience, now more than ever. We are committed to championing local talent and providing the necessary platform to ensure that premium Arabic content is made accessible to audiences. We look forward to more successful collaborations with our partners, New Image Abu Dhabi. Director Pierre Morel commented, "The feedback we have received from audiences across the UAE has been overwhelming, and I'm so proud to have been part of this fantastic project. I hope audiences continue to resonate with this inspirational story of brotherhood." Hana Kazim, manager of local film and television at Image Nation Abu Dhabi and the executive in charge of production on Al Qamin, added, "Alongside the incredibly compelling story, the success that Al Qamin has seen in just a few days, in thanks no small part to the incredibly talented crew based in Abu Dhabi. This achievement is further proof that world-class content is being produced in the Emirate. The success of the film is a landmark moment for Emirati cinema, and we hope this also provides further opportunities for our well-proven local talent. The film is also on release in other Middle Eastern territories, but so far, numbers in those markets don't come close to the UAE box office." Well, here's to hoping we see films like this from the UAE. I want to see more stories that I wouldn't know otherwise. So, pretty exciting. Now, this is kind of exciting for those of you who are fans of Money Heist. Yes, Money Heist is getting a spin-off, Berlin, based on the popular character Berlin, but Squid Games, or as you know him, contestant 2018, or not 2018, 218, Squid Games Park Hae-soo to star in the Korean remake of Money Heist. Park Hae-soo, one of the stars of Netflix's Squid Game, is to star in the Korean adaptation of Money Heist. So from Spain to Korea. Hae-soo, who plays Cho Sang-moo in the hit dystopian drama series, will play Berlin. He is playing Berlin, one of the main characters of the Spanish heist drama. It is the first casting since the streamer revealed that it was adapting the Alex Pina-created series in November of 2020. It comes as Money Heist is coming to an end, with its final episodes dropping on December 3rd. The crime drama, that's 2 days from now, which follows a series of heists conducted by an unusual group of robbers, which follows a series of them, was created by Pina, and he will executive produce the Korean version. Kim Hong-sung, who helmed TV dramas like The Guest, Voice, and Black, is known for his work in the fantasy crime genre, and he will direct. That's pretty cool. Money Heist, of course, a big favorite. One of Netflix's big breakout shows. What's not to love? This next story, kind of interesting. Rupert Grint is joining Guillermo del Toro's Ron Weasley himself, my friends. Rupert Grint is joining an ensemble of Guillermo del Toro's new Netflix anthology series, The Cabinet of Curiosities. Pretty exciting. He joins a cast that includes Essie Davis, Luke Roberts, Andrew Lincoln, F. Murray Abraham, because kids love F. Murray Abraham, Crispin Glover, Peter Weller, Tim Blake Nelson, Panos Cosmatos, who directed Beyond the Black Rainbow, Jennifer Kent and Vincenzo Natali. Cube will write and direct single episodes of this series. Man, come on. This is I want to see this. And direct single episodes of this series, which Del Toro will exec produce and act as showrunner. Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities is a collection of live-action stories that Netflix says is meant to challenge our traditional notions of horror. From macabre to magical, gothic to grotesque, or classically creepy, the 8 sinister tales, including 2 original works by Del Toro, will be brought to life by a team of writers and directors personally chosen by the Shape of Water filmmaker. Grint has been on Del Toro's radar ever since his role in Apple's Servant, where the director personally pointed out on social media how much he loved Grint and thought he nearly stole the series with his role. Servant just wrapped its second season, and the third season recently wrapped production, and is one of the streamer's most popular series to date. This is pretty exciting. I mean, I don't know. I'm in. Grint will next be seen in the Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts, which premieres on HBO Max in January 1st. He's repped by Management 360. So, hey, anytime anyone's doing a great horror series, I am down. Now, some of you might think this is a horror series in itself. I, however, am not one of those people. Big fan. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Sex and the City revival. And just like that, dropped a trailer yesterday for the show. We'd seen a teaser. Now we have a full trailer. I'm in. You know, Barney's masturbation jokes, I'm in. You should be too. Carrie Bradshaw and the gang are taking over New York City again in the first trailer for HBO Max's Sex and the City. The 10-episode spinoff will premiere with the release of its first 2 episodes on December 9th, followed by the remaining 8 episodes dropping weekly on subsequent Thursdays. And just like that, stars Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis, reprising their roles from the original series, which aired from 1998 to 2004 on HBO. While the original series showcased the women navigating the journey from the complicated reality of life and friendship in their 30s, the revival will, HBO says, explore the even more complicated reality of life and friendship in their 50s. Other returning cast includes David Eigenberg, Evan Handler, Maria Catone, the late Willie Garson, who passed away after shooting the series, Chris Noth, Bridget Moynihan, and Julie Halston. Set to make their debut in Just Like That is Sarah Ramirez, Nicole Ari Parker, Karen Pittman, and Sarita Chowdhury. Well, that's exciting. And I'm excited. The only thing I know, Kim Cattrall, not in it. We all know, we've all heard the stories. Apparently, the show will explain her absence as she's in London. Kim, come on. You're the star of that show. Come on back. We all love you. I mean, come on. You were in Roman Polanski's Ghost Rider. You played Ghost Rider. I said Ghost Rider, not Rider. Writer. You were Valeris in Star Trek VI. You were Mannequin. Who doesn't love Kim Cattrall? I think we all do. You need to come back, Kim. Just maybe even for an episode. Maybe do a 2-parter. A cliffhanger. Kind of like when the Borg showed up on Star Trek The Next Generation. You could be Elizabeth Denny. You could be Shelby. Just for a 2-parter. Maybe a season ender. Give us a banger. Come on. And I mean that in more ways than one. And what happened to Smith? Anyway, it's coming back. You know them. You love them. They're the girls from Sex and the City. And they are coming back in their new show. And just like that. And you know what? And just like that, the Hollywood Half and Half for December 1st, 2021 has come to an end. I want to thank everybody for watching this show. I want to thank my moderators. Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell's moderating today. Joshua Levesque is moderating today. I want to thank my Blue Wrenches. And that's pretty exciting. So I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel via Super Chats, memberships, and tips. Of course, if you are a member of the channel, we have bi-weekly membership calls where we all hang out for hours on end. I can see your lovely faces. And we have chats. You can talk to me about anything you want and each other. That will be coming up this weekend. And on that note, you'll see me later today on Fully Articulated and Robservations. And I'll be back tomorrow, December 2nd, with another episode of the Hollywood Half and Half. So whether you're on the half shell, riding the half pipe, or still half in the bag, this is your 30-minute blast of entertainment news. Thanks very much, and as always, have a better day. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. Entertainment news stories are probably more interesting than others. So tune in tomorrow.